minute of the first half. Second down. 11:25 to play, third period. Collins gets to the 25, short of the first down. Joe Nash again on the tackle. Nash is a good-looking rookie. Pickup of 3 for Collins.
New England is winning that war at the line of scrimmage. They're controlling the football game at that point. Now they're in the third and about 2. This is not a bad situation. Seattle has to do something to counteract the fact that they are moving that line of scrimmage. They're going to need that to start blitzing, do something to shift that momentum.
Watch Robert Weathers, number 24. He's in there with Tatupu and Van Egan. Third down and 2. And the give goes to Withers. Withers looks like he has the first down. They may want to measure. Dave Brown on the tackle. Let's go to New York for an update.
Thank you, Jay. Len Berman in New York. 1 second left in overtime in Baltimore. Tied with Green Bay, 20-20. Pagel goes back, throws up a prayer. It is not answered. Game ends in a tie. Maybe Baltimore won't win one this year, but at least they won't lose them all. Back to you, Jay Randolph.
Well, quite a job by Mr. Cush's bunch. And here is that measurement. And they are just short. Well, now this is a very interesting call. I would think the way they've been running the football, they'd go for it. They only need half a yard. And
Sam the Bam is checking in.
Sam Bam Cunningham comes in. Van Egan goes out, so it'll be Withers, Tatupu, and Cunningham there. Fourth and less than a yard. The ball at the 23-yard line. New England leading it 10-0.
These fans are exciting. Trying to get their guys.
And breaking through for the first down to the 20-yard line was Robert Withers. Withers, this good-looking rookie out of Arizona State. Number 2 draft choice. Kenny Easley on the tackle. Withers had a little trouble handling the ball here, but he made it work.
Well, he's a little upset with himself because he thinks he should have gotten a lot further.
He's lucky he didn't lose the ball.
Well, you're right. He doesn't get a real clean handoff from Grogan. Let's take a look from the end zone. Bubbling the ball a little bit. There's number 45, Kenny Easley. Left safety coming up to make the stop.
First and 10 at the 20. That's Sam Cunningham. Sam trying to get outside. No gain on the play. Jeff Bryant, the rookie from Clemson. He's number 77, and Dave Brown, 22, came up to make the play.
Good job of pursuit by the Seahawks, John Harris and Kenny Easley. Harris is really coming up supporting the run very well today.
This is the third meeting between the Patriots and the Seahawks. The Pats have won both games. It's their second appearance here. They won at Foxborough 31-0 in '77. They won here 37-31 in 1980. Second down and 10. Wide receivers set right for Grogan. Collins goes the other way. Grogan's got all kinds of time. Drop by Mark Van Egan.
Grogan had plenty of time to throw the football, but he was facing a zone defense. Seattle is one of the few teams that when they're backed up inside their own 20, that won't go to man-to-man defense. They will stay with that zone defense. You don't see that happen too often. Van Egan should have come up with that one. Hit him right in the hands.
Mike McCormick, who has taken over as interim coach here and done a splendid job watching his club facing now a 3rd and 10 against these Patriots at the 20. There goes Brown in motion. Grogan again with lots of time. Out it comes, and it's dropped again by Van Egan. And that'll bring John Smith onto the turf here in the Kingdome.
When it rains, it pours.
We've had a couple of block punts in this game. Kavanaugh, number 12, will hold. Kavanaugh has been deposed by Steve Grogan. Blocked field goals. Say punts, I meant to say field goals. Here is John Smith.
Well, it must be very much on his mind, Jay, trying to get that ball up in the air a lot quicker than he did before.
Ball will be spotted at the 27, a 37-yarder. It's up, and it is good. So we have 8:41 remaining to be played in the third period. And the Patriots now are out to a 13-0 lead over the Seahawks. Back with more in a moment. John Smith will kick off. The Otis Brown and Eric Lane are deep. High short kick. The Otis Brown at the 10. Up at the 20. 25 out to the 29-yard line. Brown right up the middle. Larry Cowan, 44, was there as we watched Dombrowski, who does an excellent job, come downfield.
The Pats picked Dombrowski up on waivers coming from Kansas City. Played a couple of years there. Strong safety. Tough guy with very good speed.
8.5 to go in the third period. 3 wide receivers in the game for the Seahawks. Now let's see. Johns and Largent with Mike Tice. Throw comes out to Dornick. Dornick is bumped out of bounds. Penalty marker goes down for a late hit. Ray Claiborne was over there, and then it was Blackman and Wysoon who were there. Personal foul against the Patriots.
Well, Zorn with this play action fake, he really fools Don Blackman. Number 55 is coming and gets the ball right out to Dan Dornick. You can see that Dornick's out of bounds. Takes the shot from number 53, Clayton Wysoon.
That'll put the ball at midfield. Let's listen in to referee Dick Jorgensen.
Roughness out of bounds, 53, defense. First down.
A lot of time left. The Patriots are leading at 13-0, shutting out the Seahawks. First and 10 at the 50. Jim Zorn, 7 out of 14. Zorn rolling. Hit. Out he goes. Kenneth Sims. Sims, number 77, the number 1 draft pick, and boy, oh boy, is he a horse. First sack of the game.
But Kenneth Sims told me before the game what he has to do personally is to take a rush up the field to try to contain Jim Zorn. Jim moves the pocket way outside. You can see 77. There he is. Still manages to get outside. Bites off the block. Comes up with a big sack.
A loss of 11. 4th quarterback sack of the year for the big guy from Texas. Second down, 21. Trying to get to Dornick. He just overthrew it a little bit. It was a very tough throw for Zorn on the run. Don Blackman, the linebacker, 55, was out there with Dan Dornick. Watch again, Ken Sims.
Well, the entire defensive line has really put in a lot of pressure on Zorn. You can see Sims out there fighting off the block from number 76, Steve August. Zorn tries to lump that ball over the head to Dornick. Gets it a little too far.
Now the Patriots in a prevent defense on 3rd and 21. Largent, Walker, and Carr, 3 wide receivers out there. Zorn throwing for Largent. Intercepted. Intercepted by Rick Sanford. And Sanford stepped out of bounds, and Largent's arguing that he was interfered with. But it is an interception. The 3rd interception of the game for the New England Patriots. They lead it 13-0. 7:39 left to play, 3rd quarter. 4th turnover right here.
Jay, I don't think that Jim Zorn should have thrown this ball at all. I don't think he saw Rick Sanford, number 25, coming over in the area. And Sanford had a beat on this football all the way. As soon as that ball was released, he had his eye on it, came right down into his hands. Largent tried to get there to break it up, but Ray Claiborne was there to shield him away from the football.
Patriots from their own 21-yard line. And that is Mark Van Egan. The folks in Cranston, Rhode Island, watching him today, I'm sure, very closely, and Patriot fans for that matter. Hardy and Green making the play as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching WVIT Channel 30, New Britain, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven.
Pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The Patriots leading 13-0 in the third quarter with 7:08 to play. Grogan gives it to Collins. Collins hit by Keith Simpson. The cornerback Simpson doing an excellent job. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, Seattle defense, that running play much better than they have some of them coming out of that eye. Collins taking the ball on the eye, coming inside, trying to bounce outside, but Jacob Green had taken on his block and just stretched it, forced him to go outside, and Keith Simpson was there to make the tackle.
On 3rd and 6. Grogan marking the signals out. Gives it off to Collins. Collins is stopped short of the 1st down. Joe Nash, the rookie who's done a good job at the tackle spot for the Seahawks, making the play, a pickup of about 5. Well, the punting unit will come on.
There's Michael Jackson, the middle linebackers, getting up a little slowly. Has had some problems with his knee. He may have re-injured it.
He says, well, let me go off under my own power. Punting situation for the talented young man from California who played here at the University of Washington, Rich Camarillo. 2 punts today, a 47-yard average.
Oh, boy.
A high one. Johns at the 25 steps up and gets to the 31-yard line. Boy, did Camarillo hang it high. 45-yard punt, a 6-yard return. 5 minutes, 43 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Patriots lead the Seahawks. In Washington, Camarillo is a very talented punter.
You know, he's not a really big guy, so you don't expect him to be able to boot that ball as far as he does. As I mentioned before, he's got a punt as long as
we alluded to in the first half, thinks he's the best in the business today. Very talented youngster. Seattle down 13-0, starting from the 32-yard line. Largent goes in motion. Zorn rolling, throwing downfield for Largent. Incomplete along the sideline. Ray Claiborne, 26, had the coverage.
Jim Zorn almost got his best friend, Steve Largent, killed.
There were
Number
a lot
25,
of white jerseys over there, weren't there?
Rick Sanford had a bead on him, and if he'd reached up to catch that football, he'd still be on the ground. That's the kind of situation you go back to your quarterback and you say, you know, I like running pass patterns. You throw them like that, and you really can get hurt.
I'm sure a lot of Seattle fans are wondering, is Zorn having a bad day? Or a lot of New England fans are wondering, how well is this defense playing?
I think New England's defense is playing exceptional football.
I'd
They
go
have
along with that.
talented athletes back there. Haynes, Roland James, Sanford, and Claiborne. And they're getting a lot of good help underneath from their linebackers.
2nd down. Zorn rolls the other way, comes back and throws it out to Sherman Smith. Sherman over the 40. Out to the 45. First down. First down at the 47-yard line.
Jay, in the first half, the screens were not working well for Seattle. This time, they fake a screen one direction, come back the other way, and Sherman Smith gets a good block from the center, John Yarno. Does a good job of running. Nice play. Let's take a look at number 77. Kenneth Sims takes an outside charge, trying to contain. Jumps up, can't do anything about the screen. Looks back in desperation.
15-yard pickup. Roland James made the tackle on Smith. First down from the 47. Zorn throwing
the first-year guy, Byron Walker, who's played very well. This ball hits him right in the hands. Starts to go upfield, loses the handle. What a tough break for Seattle. He simply just loses the handle on the football before Claiborne gets over there to tackle him.
Second down and 10 from the 47. Theodis Brown and Dan Dornick are there behind Jim Zorn. Theodis Brown in trouble.
Fumble.
And it is the New England Patriots who come away with it. Patriots get it at the 37-yard line.
That's Andre Tippett.
Tippett playing for Larry McGrew. McGrew's had some ankle problems, and Tippett made the hit.
Turnovers. 5 for Seattle, 1 for New England. You can see the man, number 77, Kenneth Sims, came in and made the hit, forcing that football away. There's 56, Andre Tippett.
Got to give
Following
Mike Haynes some credit, too. He made initial contact on the play. Tippett comes away with it. Tippett is a rookie drafted on the second round from Iowa. He's been a karate champion ever since he was a teenager. Now the Patriots have a chance to put this one away. And on first down, Grogan going to the air. And it is complete. Down to the 22-yard line to Morris Bradshaw. Time and time again, Bradshaw has made the big catch this afternoon. Pick up of 14 yards.
Lou Herber, who's the offensive coordinator for New England, was at Oakland. When Bradshaw went through waivers, he claimed him right away along with Mark Van Egan because he knows that Bradshaw, even though he doesn't have that blazing speed he used to have, he's still a very good guy to go to in controlled situations. You need third and long. You got Morgan on one side who's going deep. Get that ball out to Bradshaw, and he's coming with some big catches here today.
3 catches for 78 yards for Bradshaw. First down at the 23. Van Egan cracks down to the 17-yard line. And the Patriots have just continued to dominate and control this one. 6-yard pickup. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter and the clock running. Van Egan with 42 yards. Needed 80 today to become the 16th all-time rusher in National Football League history.
Do you know that his longest run from scrimmage, I think, is 34 yards? So that shows that he has picked up an awful lot of those short ones, right?
He's a plotter and a clotter, as I always say. Rogan throwing and incomplete. He was trying to get it to Robert Withers, the speed demon. Withers covered on the play by the safety man, John Harris, 44.
He had him open there for a little while. He just threw it a little too far. Little play action fake holding the linebackers, and Withers got behind the linebackers. Ball thrown just a little too far.
Rogan having himself a very fine day. Took over against Houston. Hadn't been in a game since way back in August. 3rd and 5 coming.
Blitz.
Seahawks come with a blitz, and Grogan goes down. Keith Butler, number 53, got to Grogan, the first sack of the day for Seattle, and it couldn't have come at a better time for the Seahawks. 13-yard loss.
Well, Jay, Seattle had to do something different on defense to disrupt this flow that New England has. They bring both linebackers. Michael Jackson come from the middle. He got blocked, but that left Keith Butler wide open, coming through, making the sack. Getting the second sack of the season.
Now it will be John Smith. The ball will be spotted at the 38, a 48-yarder. There you see that stat. He hasn't kicked one this long this year. It's on the way. It is no good. Wide to the left. So Seattle is still alive, and this crowd knows it. Two minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Patriots shutting out the Seattle Seahawks 13-0. The updated standings, the Raiders winning yesterday. Along with the Jets 6-1, Cincinnati 5-1. And there are the important stats on this game. New England and Seattle 3-3. Cleveland now 3-4 with a win today over Pittsburgh. First down from the 31 for Seattle. An audible is called here by Zorn. Zorn audibling and throwing and incomplete. Pass intended for Paul Johns. Johns covered closely by Mike Haynes on the sideline. Zorn audibling at the line of scrimmage, just got the play away before the time clock ran out.
Well, you're right. He did audible in that situation. I'm just surprised at the play that he chose to go to. He saw that his men were covered man-to-man. He had Paul Johns over there one-on-one with Mike Haynes. And I really don't like that matchup in that situation. They're going to be man-to-man and playing bump and run. If you're going to throw it down the field deep, not a short out pattern.
Seattle again with 3 wide receivers, Largent, Walker, and Johns. To Dornick. Dornick up the sideline. Patriots with excellent pursuit. Ron Spears, number 78, leading the way. Let's go to New York for an update.
All right, let's check out Mile High Stadium in Denver. Bill Kenny, the quarterback this week for Kansas City, right up the middle to Carlos Carson. The Chiefs are driving on the Broncos. They're leading it right now by a score of 17-16. Back to Seattle.
Thank you, Len Berman. Here it is 13-0, the Patriots over the Seahawks. 3rd down and 9.
Roger Carr has checked into the game.
Carr set to the left side, 2 wide receivers right. Zorn is whacked by number 55, Don Blackman, who was blitzing. Blackman was on top of Zorn before he knew what hit him.
Everyone on the defense came in that time. You can see him, number 55. He's getting up a little slow. There he comes, right in the middle of the screen.
Is this a quarterback draw? Might have been a quarterback draw.
I think you're right. Last week, Zorn ran one of those in for a touchdown. But that's a tough call when you have those linebackers blitzing.
Don Blackman is shaken up. The second-year man from Tulsa. He is really tough against the run. Now starting for the Patriots of Ron Meyer. The Seahawks surviving the turnover. Smith missing the 48-yard field goal, but then Seattle unable to operate with any efficiency offensively. Smith has missed a couple of field goals. We've had a couple blocked in this game. I want to remind you on Christmas Day we'll have a special holiday edition of Sports World. Bruce Jenner's your host, and there'll be a special performance by lovely Dorothy Hamill. And then thrills and spills of the World Ice Speedway Motorcycle Championship and World Pro Skiing from Lake Tahoe. That's all coming your way next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, NBC Sports World on Christmas Day. They're attending to Don Blackman. Pull back a little bit. You will see a gentleman out there in a red sweater, the great veteran trainer of the New England Patriots, Tom Helian, the medical staff. We'll update some scores for you. Cleveland defeated Pittsburgh today 10-9. The Giants were clipped by Washington. Mosley set a record in that one. Field goals. St. Louis, they have not lost on the road this year. They beat Chicago at Soldier Field. Philadelphia annihilating Houston. Minnesota won it from Detroit 34-31. A punt from Jeff West. Fair catch. And it is Ricky Smith taking it in at the 32-yard line. A couple of other scores to update you on the activity this afternoon. There again is that Minnesota-Detroit game. Danielson to Thompson for 1 yard. As the final score in that one. Back a couple of passes from Danielson late in the game to make it close. Baltimore and Green Bay played through regulation and then through overtime to a 20-20 tie. That's the first tie of this season, I believe. First down for the Patriots. Van Egan getting to the 36-yard line. He's pulled back by Michael Jackson, number 55, a pickup of 4 yards on the play. Van Egan was waived on the final cut by Oakland. Marcus Allen is doing quite a job for that Oakland club. 51 yards now for Van Egan. The fans here trying to get this defense going. Fourth quarter score, Tampa Bay leading Buffalo. Listen to these fans try to get the defense fired up. Oh! Gene Washington, I don't know. I don't see any reason for us to talk over that. Dave Brown, though, number 22, makes a big play on Stanley Morgan. This crowd of better than 53,000 really fired up trying to get the Seahawks going.
Well, maybe they'll have to do it on each and every play. Dave Brown, as you mentioned, comes up and makes a big tackle on Stanley Morgan, because when they came with that reverse, the kind of speed that Morgan has, he can just go all the way from any place on the field.
Here we go again, 3rd and 3.
Should be intercepted.
Well, it might have been intercepted had it been thrown in the field of play, but Grogan, I think, might have bailed out there.
I think you're right. He realized he didn't have anything and threw it out of bounds.
Grogan took a look downfield, and everybody was covered. Grogan talking things over with Ron Meyer, the first-year coach of the Patriots, who's done a splendid job. And it is Camarillo again who will do the punting. Paul Johns is set to receive. Camarillo gets a high floater away. Fair catch called for, and it's gathered in by Johns at the 28-yard line. 7 seconds left in the third period as we go to New York to get an update.
Thank you, Jay Randolph. In Tampa, the Buffalo defense is breaking today. Melvin Carter, the rookie, takes it in for the Bucks. Tampa Bay now leads 24-16 over Buffalo. Back to you, Jay.
Tampa Bay, very tough at home. New England leading Seattle 13-0. Final seconds of the third quarter. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Zorn throws over the middle. Intercepted. He was forcing that ball to the tight end, Mike Tice, and Roland James, the strong safety, almost picked it off. You see Zorn talking to Tice there. Apparently he didn't like the pattern.
Well, it took a little too long. You can see that number 56, Andre Tippett, forced him to come back. Gave Roland James just enough time to move in front of Mike Tice, and he almost came up with an interception.
2 seconds left in the third quarter. The Patriots lead 13-0. They got 3 in the first, 7 in the second, 3 here in the third.
Here comes a blitz.
Zorn throwing complete. It was Claiborne who got to Steve Largent. Just short of the first down, I believe. Comebacker by Largent.
Well, New England does a good job of putting the pressure on the middle. Zorn breaks outside. Largent, really a smart receiver. Comes back. Look at the way he comes back for that football. Comes all the way back, catches it. Claiborne comes up, makes the tackle. Just short of the first down.
And the end of the third quarter. We'll be right back after this message from your local station. New England 13, Seattle nothing. We go to the fourth quarter with Gene Washington, Jay Randolph. I want to send along our best wishes to the head man of the Patriots, Billy Sullivan, been battling pneumonia and bronchitis and couldn't be here with his club. 3rd down and 1 at the 38-yard line, double tight end alignment. And getting the call, and I don't know. Getting the call was Dornick, and I don't know if he got the first down or not. Kenneth Sims was there, and this is going to be very close. Dornick, the big guy from Washington State.
Well, they got it. Not by very much.
No, indeed. They didn't measure, though. Apparently, there are the third quarter stats.
But you can see the big advantage for the Patriots, 296 total yards compared to 112 in time of possession, 30 minutes for the Patriots.
Jim Zorn running the Seahawk offense is scoreless today. A new record for the Patriots, 7 scoreless quarters for their defense.
They better hurry and get this one off. They're running close to that 30-second clock.
He just got it off. Zorn looking downfield, throwing, almost intercepted. Again, trying to force it in there. He was trying to get it to Largent, and Steve Nelson almost picked it off. Nelson, who has 13 career interceptions, almost had 14. Here's this crowd, better than 53,000 here. A little over 11,000 no-shows, but you'd never know it from the sound in this building.
Well, they're having some fun here today. Each section is competing against another, and they know that if their team loses today's game, their chances for the playoffs are all but virtually over. Trying to get this offensive team going.
2nd down and 10. A screen back to Sherman Smith. Smith gets the first down.
Dave, again in the first half, Seattle tried to use the screen. It was not effective, but they went with the single screen. Here in the second half, they're going with the double screen, getting the defense to move in one direction and coming back to the opposite side of the field. This is the 2nd or 3rd time that Sherman Smith has turned this play into a big game.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line of the Patriots. 13.5 minutes to play. For Largent. Largent is there. Intercepted. Intercepted by Mike Haynes. The 4th interception for this secondary today against Jim Zorn. That ball had been thrown a little farther. It might have been acceptable to Largent.
Or had that ball been thrown against a lesser defensive back than Mike Haynes. Hayes has a kind of catch-up speed where he can go get the football. Super interception on the part of a great defensive back, Mike Haynes, number 40.
And we'll be back in the Kingdome in a moment.
Len Berman in New York, back in Tampa Bay. The Buffalo Bills trailing and driving, and Hugh Green, remember the pit linebacker? There he goes. He doesn't score on it, but Tampa Bay firmly in control, leading it by 8. Let's go back to Jay Randolph and Gene Washington.
Now you're talking about Hugh Green, and there's Ken Sims. Green and Sims would make a whole team for you, I'll tell you that. New England gets it back on the interception. First down at the 10. Or check it, at the 6. 1st and 10 from the 6. Van Egan out to the 20-yard line and a first down. Van Egan getting close to the 80 yards that he needs to become the 16th rusher all time. Tackle made by John Harris.
But look at the block by number 73, John Hanna, the left guard, just moves the defense out. Van Egan has done so many times out in Oakland, takes this ball and just runs right up the middle, and there's no arm tackling him here.
Van
You have
Egan
to put
now
some
with,
shoulders into him.
Van Egan now with 65 yards on 8 carries. 1st and 10 from the 20. Van Egan again, and he gets a couple. 2 yards before Robert Hardy, the left tackle, number 75, wraps him up. The 4 interceptions today for New England is the most interceptions for the Patriots since October 18th of last season, when they had 4 against Houston's Oilers. The New England Patriots leading this one 13-0 with 12:10 remaining. Second down and 7. Collins gets to the 26-yard line where Keith Simpson, number 42, made the play. It has been a day when we have seen a lot of people making tackles for the Seahawks in the secondary.
Well, their entire defense is really swarmed to that football. They all get over there, try to get a lot of pursuit, because oftentimes what happens is you'll have one guy try to make a tackle, might slow the guy up, then the guy breaks away and gains another 2 or 3 yards. This defense, since the strike, has really come on and played excellent football.
Total offense today. Collins has 97. The Seahawks as a team have 127. Third down and 4. Collins, and they may measure. They may measure. He might have got there. Michael Jackson undercut him. No, it's a first down. They're going to place the ball over the 30-yard line for a first down. Boy, Collins, very impressive. I saw him for the first time against Houston. He rushed for more than 160 yards. He now has 95 yards on 28 carries today. 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
I think Collins also has the longest run this year in the AFC. Broke one off for 54 yards against Baltimore.
Collins again. He got about 1 or 2.
Mr. Green, Jacob Green over there fighting off the block. He's some kind of football player, Jacob Green. Not only can he rush the passer, but at the point of attack, he is very, very strong.
A #1 draft choice, like Ken Sims of the Patriots, out of Texas. He played at A&M. Sims played at Texas. Second down, 8. A handoff going to Tupu. Tupu has a first down to the 42-yard line. Mosi Tupu picks up 9. He had 81 yards last Sunday in the snow. The big guy from USC.
But watch the job that the Patriots offensive line does up front. That's controlling the line of scrimmage. The only guy who has a shot is Jeff Bryant. But Tupu just cuts back inside to the open area. Again, running to daylight. Straight ahead, man-on-man blocking. Give the ball to the running back. Run to daylight. They've done a super job this afternoon.
John Harris finally got a hold of him there. Here is Weathers, who is in the backfield now with the Tupu. And the talented young rookie stopped by John Harris, 44, as he picked up, let's call it, to the 46-yard line, a pickup of 4 yards. Patriots leading 13-0, running this clock, controlling the game. Next week, the Patriots play the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Then they meet Buffalo at home on January 2nd. That time, Tupu, he was stalled at the line of scrimmage and then gave us a little effort that got a couple. Jeff Bryant, number 77, the right end on the tackle, the gain to midfield.
Prior to this play, when New England went in motion, Seattle had shifted its defense with the linebackers. On this play, they didn't move the linebackers, stayed in their same positions, were able to clog it up, and it took a strong second effort on the part of Mosi Tupu to get some positive yardage out of that play.
All right, here is third down and 2. Withers goes in motion. Play action fake. Grogan throws back to the tight end for the first down. Lynn Dawson. Dawson was wide open, stepped over the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Dave Brown, the cornerback 22, comes over to cover. Grogan took a shot there. He was punished, but he made the play for the first down with 7 minutes now left to go.
Well, he stood in there a long time. He wanted to get Robert Weathers down the sideline on a deep pass, but Kenny easily had him covered. Came off to his third receiver, his third choice in this play, and he was able to do it because his offensive line gave him so much time to throw the ball. They've done a very good job of pass protection.
There are the first down statistics. That's Sam Cunningham, who goes down at the line of scrimmage.
Keith Butler coming from his outside linebacking position to make the tackle.
Gene, look at the time of possession here. 36 minutes for New England, 16 for Seattle. You can't score without the ball, can you? Of course, some people would argue that point because you could get it and run it in on the defense, but I'll tell you, the Patriots have had it all their way. 13-0 New England. Pitch comes to Collins, and a fine play is made by Jacob Green. Well, Collins couldn't do much that time as Green got across. Excellent pursuit. Loss of about 3.
Most teams like to run the ball to their right side, but when you have a guy on defense like 79 Jacob Green, most defensive ends would not have been able to catch Tony Collins in this situation. But Green has such outstanding quickness. He was able to take on that block, shed the block, and then catch a speedy back like Tony Collins before he could get outside.
Tampa Bay leading Buffalo in the fourth quarter. Dallas 21-7 over New Orleans in the fourth. Here is a pass to Collins. Collins is stopped at the 35-yard line, short of the first down. Bruce Schultz, the linebacker, number 58, doing a nice job. 10-yard pickup on the play. 4:50 remaining in this game. Now, very interesting call coming up here. Ball at the 35. New England leading 13-0. 4:42 remaining. 4th and 2. Grogan looking over. Coming in with a play is Preston Brown, the wide receiver, number 81. Not going to opt for the field goal try. Here they come. Brown to the right, Morgan to the left. Got to hurry to get it off. Rogan steps up, he throws, it is complete for a first down to Tony Collins.
It's going to be a flag, a late hit. Flag was thrown. I think they're going to call a late hit against Seattle.
Personal foul, Seattle Seahawks.
Grogan's going to deliver the ball out here to Tony Collins. You'll see, I think it's going to be Kenny Easley, but what he's trying to do is prevent the first down. Collins is still up. He was in the air before Collins went down. The problem is that Collins hit the ground. I think it was Easley who was already airborne. By the time he hit down, the whistle had already been blown. Let's take another look and see.
Michael Jackson, 55. You see him coming
he's
across
still up.
here.
He's still up.
And
Oh, it's Michael Jackson.
Oh, it's somebody else went in under 2.
Well, I think it was Kenny Easley and Michael Jackson.
And Keith Simpson. Now another flag I think has been thrown.
Well, that's Robert Hardy.
Another flag has been thrown, I believe. Yep. This is going to put the ball down inside the 10-yard line. Keith Simpson is really hot. Number 75, Robert Hardy, steps in there.
Well, I think these guys felt that they've really come out on the short end of some questionable calls all game long. And I think the frustration is really coming to surface here.
Well, there may have been some questionable calls, Gene, but there's no question that they've been outplayed by the Patriots today.
Well, you'd have to agree with that. Just look at the time of possession. That's controlling the line of scrimmage.
Dick
Hear that
Jorgensen
phrase?
and his crew trying to keep peace and quiet on that field, and it's not going to be very easy. 4:06 left. 1st and goal to go at the 7. Mike McCormick can't be very pleased with the proceedings here this afternoon. Handoff going to Withers, and he stopped back at the 10-yard line. Michael Jackson fired in there to make the play. Jackson played at Washington. Had a couple of personal fouls in the game last week that he really got upset. He's had some knee problems, as you mentioned. He's a fine linebacker, top tackler in '81.
He's a terrific athlete, an awful lot of speed in the middle. I think that New England is going to play it fairly close to the vest here because they want that field goal, put them up 16-0. Seattle will have to score more than 2 touchdowns to win.
Van Egan cracking down near the 6-yard line.
Michael Jackson is in another fight.
Here comes another flag.
I think it's going to be against Jackson. When the official came over, he tried to pretend like he wasn't doing anything. And I tell you, he was throwing fists at the wrong guy. That was John Hanna.
Well, this crew here, Dick Jorgensen and his officials, have got their hands full trying to keep this affair orderly. Let's listen to referee Dick Jorgensen.
Personal foul, number 55, unnecessary roughness, defense, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, penalties offset.
Called it both ways, offsetting penalties. Called it both ways. And now some of the fans are letting some debris fall here on the floor of the Kingdome in Seattle.
Well, you can't say that Michael Jackson will back down from anything. He took on an awfully big man, John Hanna, 6'3", 265-pound all-pro guard.
3rd down and 6 at the 6. Grogan.
Bootleg.
Throwing. No, incomplete. Oh, that was a fine play made over there. Hasselback had it, and Dave Brown just batted the ball out of his hands.
He sure did, and I don't think Hasselbeck expected it. But Dave Brown, look at this bootleg. Great faking on the part of Grogan. Throws an excellent pass. And I don't think he expected Dave Brown to knock it away. Look, great play on the part of Dave Brown, knocking that football away. Let's take another look from the far end zone. Great fake on the part of Grogan. Good pass. Dave Brown has his back turned. Catches the ball, knocks it away.
Brown, who played at Michigan, was an All-American for Bo Schembechler. Michigan and UCLA in the Rose Bowl here on NBC.
They really need to block this one.
The kick is up, and it is good. A 23-yard field goal by John Smith. And with 3:05 remaining, the Patriots now lead the Seahawks 16-0 here in the Kingdome. Today's game is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury, offering a complete range of contemporary automobiles for 1983 from Links to Lincoln. By Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Canon, so advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. The kickoff coming down short. Theotis Brown returning it across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And it was Dombrowski again on the specialty unit down to make the play. So Seattle is down 16-0 with 2:57 remaining. Smith has kicked 3 very important field goals in this game. We're going to take a timeout with 2:57 left. Seattle down 16-0. Both these teams 3-3 on the year, but the Patriots look. With 4:05 left, Buffalo has come back. Buffalo and Tampa Bay having a dandy down in Florida today. Here it is 16-0 the Patriots. Great play by the Patriots defense. Great play by their offensive line. Fine performances from Collins and Van Egan. First down from the 27-yard line. Zorn throwing over the middle. It's complete to Hughes. Hughes has a first down as he fights over the 40-yard line to the 41 before Don Blackman, number 55, makes the play. Gene, they'll give them those kind up the middle, the short ones.
Well, they're going to give them the short ones. They'll try to keep them inbounds. Seattle has to score 2 touchdowns in addition to a field goal to win. New England can afford to just sit back and make sure that they don't do it before 2 minutes and 31 seconds elapse.
Zorn trying to get it out to Hughes again. It was batted down by the noseman, Lester Williams. Clock stopped with 2:31 left. The Patriots will be 4-3, and they will have won 3 of their last 4. And will meet the Steelers in Pittsburgh next Sunday. Steelers beaten today at Cleveland.
Each game, each week, seems to get bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
That Super Bowl tournament lying ahead for the 8 qualifiers. Zorn throws, and it is complete to Sherman Smith. Smith is short of a first down at the 48-yard line. Paul Dombrowski, the extra defensive back, he made the play. NFL report coming up. We'll bring you up to date on all the activities today. Third down and a long 2. Over the middle again, it is to Sherman Smith. He's got a first down and he goes to the 41-yard line. Don Blackman, the linebacker, makes the play, and we're going to get the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning being given to the benches of the Patriots and the Seahawks. Patriots 16, the Seahawks nothing. Now here comes another of those fantastic finishes.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1978, Art Rooney's Steelers against the Browns. Bradshaw hands off to Blair, who gives to Swan, who pitches back to Bradshaw, who whales a 40-yard strike to Benny Cunningham that beats the Browns in sudden death 15-9. The Steelers handled the ball no less than 6 times on a flea flicker that brings victory to Pittsburgh on the game's final play.
There's the score. Time remaining 1:58. Thanks to our spotters, Gary Moore and Jim Ott, to Barry Culver for handling our statistics, the entire crew here in the booth, always a great job. We may be taking you to that Tampa Bay Buffalo game. If this one is over in time and that one's still going, it's going to the wire. Patriots leading 16-0. 2 wide receivers to the left side. Zorn throwing and completing. Largent steps out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:54 to play. Claiborne had the coverage over there. A pickup of 12 and a first down at the 29-yard line.
Beautiful pitch and throw. Zorn throwing that timing pattern to the outside, throws the ball before Largent cuts and comes back. But Claiborne's not too worried about anything except the receiver getting downfield behind him. You mentioned before, they're going to give them those passes in front. Everything is in their favor. 1:54 to go. And it certainly looks as though Seattle has come out on the short end of the stick. But New England has played excellent football, especially down in the trenches.
Seattle trying to get off the Schneider, being shut out here. Here's a throw that is dropped. Ball went out the hands of Sherman Smith. The Seahawks were last shut out by the New York Giants 32-0 back in October of 1981. Let's remind you that this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Seattle Seahawks and the National Football League is prohibited. Gene, last Sunday after the victory in the snow, I was seated in the lounge out at the airport in Boston. Some of the people were down on the Patriots, but they can be proud of them today, I'll tell you. They've looked very, very sharp here. Zorn throwing, nothing there. Good pressure that time, and he had to bail out, trying to get the ball to Hughes, but Hughes never had a shot at it. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Well, New England has come on the blitz the last 2 times in a row. The first few downs in this series. They faked the blitz, pulled out. These last 2 plays, they came on the blitz, not allowing Jim Zorn very much time to throw the football.
Roger Carr is back in there. Carr, who was in the doghouse at Baltimore, came over here in a trade for an undisclosed draft choice. 3rd and 10. Ron Meyer, the Patriots' first-year coach.
Here comes another blitz.
And the throw is almost caught by Carr. Carr just couldn't quite hold on against Ray Claiborne, and that is going to bring up 4th down and 10.
Well, the blitz is on, and the receivers, when they see that blitz, particularly when that safety comes out of the middle, comes out of the hole, they're taught to break it across the middle. You can see the smile on Rodgers' face. He came back, and I'm sure he said to the quarterback,
"Oh, I'd like to get that. Yeah, if I got that, he's got 6."
Yep.
Carr has gone out of the game now. And we've got Paul Johns, number 85, replacing him. So here's the last gasp for Seattle, 4th and 10. Zorn throwing, and it is incomplete. Pass intended for Paul Johns. Ray Claiborne made the hit. He couldn't hold on. 1 minute and 37 left to play in this game. And the Patriots lead it 16-0. His Patriots about to be 4-3 on the year. And in this shortened season, that's more victories than they had last year when they were 2-14 and played them all. First down from the 29, the handoff to Mark Van Eegen. Van Eegen getting a couple up to the 33. Michael Jackson making the tackle, and timeout for Seattle. Seattle with 2 timeouts remaining now. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is Ted Nathanson, and the telecast of today's game produced by Terry Ewert. Our game directed by Bob Levy. The associate director, Fred Whitten. Thanks to everybody here who has helped to bring you the sights and sounds of National Football League action from the Kingdome. Patriots leading it 16-0. They got a field goal in the first quarter, a touchdown in the second. That was a big play. The 5-yard touchdown pass, Grogan to Van Eegen. They led 10-0 at half. Have added field goals in the 3rd and 4th quarters. 23 first downs in the game. 12 for the Seahawks. Grogan has gone all the way. Van Eegen with 77 yards on 11 carries. Collins having a big day, and here is Collins again, fighting up to the 37-yard line. Went out of bounds there, stopping the clock with 1 minute and 22 to go. Keith Butler, 53, ran Collins out. Gene, I'm really impressed with Collins. I saw him against Houston. He romped for more than 160 yards. The games remaining, Seattle is at Cincinnati and then plays Denver here in the Kingdome. New England is at Pittsburgh and then plays Buffalo at Schaefer Stadium.
Collins is at 100 yards today on 33 rushes. Nice afternoon for a young man with a lot of speed. I saw him in his first game he played against Baltimore. Had a good game that day.
3rd down and 1. Katupu goes in motion. Collins has a first down across the 40-yard line. Shelton Robinson, number 57, makes the tackle. Clock running now with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. With that first down, it's all academic. It has been for some time. You can't give enough credit to the way the Patriots handle things here.
Particularly at the line of scrimmage. They said prior to the game they wanted to control the line of scrimmage, keep their offense on the field, keep the ball away from Jim Zorn. Zorn had the football, but New England's defense did an outstanding job. Defensive coordinator for New England is here at Seattle. That's Jim Mora, so he understands his team pretty well.
That's Van Eegen. Van Eegen getting very close to the needed yardage to become the 16th rusher all time. He got it out to the 47-yard line. Unofficially, we have him at 82 yards now, so that will put him number 16 all time in the National Football League rushing stats. That is official. 82 yards. Don't forget, next Sunday the NFL will go into the stretch run for the Super Bowl, and leading off the day there are 3 regionals for you, and then 3 other key games at 4 Eastern time, with NFL 82 beginning at 3:30. The Broncos facing the Raiders. Marcus Allen,